Hey guys, Standard Pie here. We're a few days into Season 19 and I've been getting quite a lot of questions about the Sunwuko set and especially how to maintain spirit. So I just thought I'd break down my build and show you guys what I do. So to begin with, we've got the Sunwuko Crown. Preferably here you want Dex, crit hit chance and Tempest Rush damage. And then on the secondary, because we're running Harmony, you want the resistance as well. Next we've got Mantle of Channeling. So this increases all damage you do by 25% and reduces all damage taken by 25% whilst channeling. Obviously, we're channeling Tempest Rush, so we got that all the time. And here, preferably you want to get reduced resource cost and reduced cooldown. We got Crimson, so it doubles up as increased damage and reduced damage as well. Next, we got Sunwuko Soul. Pretty simple item. You just want high dexterity, high vitality, and then you want 15% increased life. And then again, secondary, we've got the resistance on there. Next, we've got Sunwuko Shines. Preferably here, you want 20% cold damage, crit hit damage, and crit hit chance or cooldown reduction for the extra damage from Crimsons. And then again, secondary, we've got the resistance as well. Next, we've got Sunwuko Pause. Here you preferably don't want the attack speed. You'd rather have that as area damage, but it's not too much of a problem for now. And then you got crit hit damage, crit hit chance, and then the reduced cooldown as well. And then again, secondary, you've got the resistance there too. We got the Crimson's 3 set. Got the waist here, pretty simple item: Dex, Vitality, Life, and Armor. Then your boots, got Dexterity, Vitality. Preferably you want all resist instead of armor, but it's not too much of a problem. And then you got the Tempest Rush damage as well. Preferably you want that 15% as well. We've got Season's Memento. This is a really vital part of the builds. Our blinds procs these items, and then once you release your Tempest Rush in a pack, you just obliterate them. They'll just disappear. So here you want the cold damage, Dex, Vitality, or instead of Vitality, you'd like life per hit. But that's not too important. And then you want the crit hit chance as well. For legs, we've got Sunwuko's legs. Again, simple item. You just want dexterity, vitality, armor, and resistance on secondary. Rings, we've got Zodiac Ring. These pretty much all roll the same. You just want to roll off the attack speeds. You want to make sure that the resource cost reduction is high as well. And again, on the secondary, you want some resistance there too. We've got the Convention of Elements. This is what we're waiting for the cycle to get to cold to. You want that 200% damage there. You want to be as close to that as possible. And again, secondary, you want that resistance there as well. For the weapons, we've got One Kim Lao. This is a really important part of the builds. We got the every time we hit with Tempest Rush, it also activates Cyclone Strike. You'll see in our cube, we've got the shoulders that no one can name, which will reduce all of our damage taken by 50% as well. And then also just gives us a nice 600% damage increase as well. On the other hand, we've got Vengeful Winds. This increases all your sweep and wind stacks by 10. And part of the 6 set for Sunwuko's is it increases by 1500% for each stack of sweep and wind. So, another vital piece of gear. And for survivability, on one of these 2 pieces, you preferably want life per hit. It's easier to get it on Vengeful Wind, and then you want area damage on One Kim Lao, but either way is fine. Okay, so if we go to the cube, we have Balance, increases Tempest Rush damage by 600%, and also gives us 100% crit chance when it's 3 or fewer enemies. So for the Rift Guardians, this is just so strong. You'll kill Rift Guardians easily. The shoulders, the name that no one can announce. We've got the Cyclone Strike always activating from when we're just hitting with Tempest Rush. So we always have the 50% damage reduction too, which is really nice. And then we also have the Ring of Royal Grandeur. We've got the 5 set and the 2. So, this just makes it 6 and 3. Vital for the build again. So yeah. Okay, so next we got the skills. First, obviously we've got Tempest Rush, and the rune we're using is Flurry. Basically what we're doing here is building up loads of stacks, and then once we get around to our cold cycle, we're just releasing them all and doing a huge amount of damage to big groups. Mantra, we've got Mantra of Salvation, Agility. This is just a huge damage reduction overall. And you can also proc it when you need to get a bit more damage reduction in those like heavy elite packs. Next we got Sweeping Wind Inner Storm. This is a vital part for the spirit regen. Obviously, as you can tell with this build, we don't have any spirit regen with Tempest Rush. So we need that spirit regen, and here we get 8 per second once we're above 3 stacks, which is really, really important. Next we got Serenity, we should have Ascension. This is just an immunity for 4 seconds. Once you get into that cold cycle, here we've got the physical, after comes cold, drop it now, and you got that immunity, and you know you're not going to die when you're in all those elite packs. Next we've got Blinding Flash, Faith in the Light. So this is the ability that we're using to proc our Season Memento. This gives us that massive 800% damage on the groups when we get to our cold cycle, and Faith in the Light gives you an extra 29% damage, which is just nice to have. Finally, we've got Epiphany, Desert Shrouds. Again, we need that spirit regen. It's really important for this build. That gives us 20 per second, which is really nice. And then Desert Shroud obviously gives us that 50% damage, reduced damage taken as well. For the passives, we've got Beacon of Yatar, cooldown reduction by 20%. We got Crimsons, so doubles up as a 20% damage increase as well. Can't really go without this. Seconds, I said previously with the elemental resistances, that 40% from all those for the secondaries there is really helpful. This will definitely keep you alive longer. We've got Relentless Assault, 20% more damage to enemies that are frozen. We've got our blind here, which is blinding everyone. That's going to do a huge amount of more damage. And then finally we got Guardian's Path. I've seen quite a lot of people sub this out for near-death experience, which you can do, but preferably I like Guardian's Path because it gives you more DR anyway. Like, preferably you wouldn't want to die to even proc this, so I just rather have the extra damage reduction from the Guardian's Path. Okay, so let's jump into a Greater Rift and I'll show you what this build can do. Let's go into a 110. Okay, so we're activating Desert Shroud. We're just grouping up all the mobs. I want to get as many as we can. And you'll notice that my spirit isn't really going down. So we're coming into physical, drop, blind, and release. We've got that massive damage that goes onto the packs. Try and collect some more mobs up. You want to try and get big groups. And especially with the seasonal buff as well. You want to try and get as big groups as possible. Drop Ascension, blind, release, huge explosion. Try and get some more mobs together. Isn't really a great rift if I'm honest. Again, drop, blind, release, huge explosion. Once you got your stacks up and you're in your cold cycle, once you get the blind out on the elite packs, they're just destroyed instantly. Got a nice big group here. Drop our immunity, blind, release, huge explosion. The shame about this pylon here, it'd be nice if we got conduit. Don't really need channeling, but if you find yourself having spirit problems, obviously it's very useful. So drop the immunity, blind, release. It's just obliterating everything on screen. More elite packs really, this isn't a very good rift. Okay, let's try to get some more together. Rift Guardian here. Don't want to come. Alright. Right, spawn Rift Guardian. Okay. You will notice here that with the balance in the cube, we have a 100% crit chance against Rift Guardians for the most part. So you should be able to kill the Rift Guardians so easy. Blind, huge explosion, one shot. That's the power of this build. you know, you can push. I've pushed 124, managed to get second 3 days into the season. So I think, you know, this build will be pushing really, really high. Okay, so that's the build. If you want to see me pushing higher rifts, you'll find me on Twitch. I'll put the link in the description below. If you have any questions, come and ask me there, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you.